Hi, Tracy and Adrienne here today to talk about ways to boost participation within the Bonusly platform. A few key takeaways that we'll cover today. The first is an understanding of your participation rate, how to use reporting and analytics to make data-backed decisions, best practices on how to enhance your recognition strategy. Now I'll turn it over to Adrienne to cover some participation rate analytics.
Awesome. Thanks, Tracy. I think this is a great opportunity. Before we talk about boosting participation, I think it's important to understand what our participation looks like. So I'm going to go through a couple spots where you can actually see some analytics and some data on what participation looks like at your company in Bonusly, which can then help inform decisions, help you take action, and then also help share out those insights with people across your organization. So the first thing I want to point out here is a part of our admin dashboard, and we call this card participation and frequency. This is a really great place. The admin dashboard is kind of like a snapshot of data coming from your reports in Bonusly. It provides a nice overview all in one location. And here we are able to get a bigger picture of participation rate, the participation rate based on our benchmark, like how you're doing based on the Bonusly benchmark. We also go into average giving rate as well as average receiving rate. So you can see here the participation rate is overall. That combines both giving and receiving. It's kind of like utilizing the Bonusly platform. And then monthly giving rate is per user. So 23 per user, that's awesome. And then you'll see monthly receiving rate, that's again per user. You might also notice there is some tags there located with different colors. So you see great across the board. We definitely like to see that. In Bonusly, it's going to categorize your participation based off of the benchmark. So if you're above average of what we're seeing across companies in Bonusly, it's going to mark great there. If you're below average, you'll see the word low in yellow, letting you know, like, hey, based on what we're seeing just across customers, you are a bit lower than average that we're seeing across the board. So now that we've checked that out on the admin dashboard, I want to take it the next step deeper. So I'm going to move us to the participation and frequency in our Bonusly analytics. So everyone has access to Bonusly analytics. You can get to those on the homepage in the top navigation bar. And here we're going to look at overall participation. So this is a really great chart to take what we just covered to the next level. It's going to show you your giving or receiving rate combined, or then you can break them down by one or the other. But what I really love about this is you can drill down beyond just overarching company-wide. So you can actually look at this and segment it by department, location, manager role, or excuse me, manager teams, roles, and cost centers, which really helps you start to look for trends and identify outliers. Maybe you have a manager's team that is just crushing it and has 100% participation across the board always. Or maybe there's someone that their team is pretty low, you know, below average, below most of what your company is doing. That's a great indication of starting some conversations, digging into seeing what's going on. And then I also say bringing those people together, right? I think there's a great opportunity to have workshops specifically for managers and leaders at your organization to learn from one another. What are the teams that are just doing so great? What are they doing? How are they modeling behavior? What expectations they're setting? So the great thing with this report is, again, you can break it down by segment. You can look at it based on different time frames. It helps you actually identify where can I start to find more insights and then build that story of engagement and participation. And then if we go on to our next slide, we've talked about overall participation in Bonusly, but the next thing you can consider is thinking about, okay, how are people adopting our programs? This is important to know because if you don't have insight into this, you don't know if you need to make any changes or really what's going on. So on the admin dashboard, you will find a card specifically for program adoption. Now, I didn't mention this before, but I will say while analytics are visible to everyone at your organization, the admin dashboard is only visible to admins. So here on this card, you have programs broken down by the different types. You'll see peer-to-peer recognition, awards, automated awards, and claimable awards. And if you were in Bonusly recently, you'll notice that we did some name changing. So these have changed to awards, celebrations, and incentives. So if it looks a little different when you're in the platform, that's why. So the great thing about this, it's going to tell you, okay, what is the participation within the certain program? And it'll also tell you the total number of points given, as well as what is the rate, like what's your reach, which allows you again to kind of see, is one program being utilized more so than another? And is there an opportunity to kind of improve in some areas? You know, if we look here, it looks like based just on this slide, our awards program is actually quite a bit lower than the rest of our programming. So that tells me, hey, what could I be doing to help build a holistic approach to recognition and engagement across these different platforms? So this is where I would start and say, hey, I'm going to go in, I'm going to see if I can create some more awards. I'm going to look for some creative ideas, maybe give the option for different teams or managers to have some budgets to be able to build a more robust award program. So that's kind of an overview of where you can find some analytics and data to have an understanding of your participation. And now I'm going to pass it back to Tracy, and she's going to talk about ways to boost participation.
Thanks, Adrienne, for those helpful insights. As Adrienne mentioned, now I'm going to discuss some best practices on ways that you can increase participation within the Bonusly platform. So the first thing that we will go ahead and start off with today is adding in company value hashtags. So value-aligned recognition can really help everyone in your organization understand what it means to embody your company values and see how their contributions support your mission. As a Bonusly admin, you can add your company value hashtags within Bonusly to help keep them top of mind and encourage users to connect what they're recognizing to what you value. Employees are more likely to use the platform if it aligns with your company's purpose and really reflects your unique company culture. As a best practice, we recommend setting the hashtag mode company value hashtag required so that all recognition is accounted for within your analytics. This way, you can tie in all recognition posts to your company values and see which are used most often and how often.
I think the customer company values is just such an important thing to have in your Bonusly account, because it helps you have a better understanding of how the work that your teams are doing really relates back to your business mission, the impact, your even potentially your bottom line. And then just recently, I heard this really awesome example of how one company is utilizing their company values and then building that into an awards program. So you put in your company value hashtags, people are posting, sharing, tagging the things, you're starting to see which values are the most meaningful. And then over time, you can build out awards to recognize potentially people for representing this, like getting the most recognition for, say, hashtag teamwork, or getting the most recognition to improving bottom line. So the great thing is you can use company value hashtags to then also continue recognition and boost connectivity.
Yes, thank you for that call out. It's very important, and we'd love to see that happen within recognition. Perfect. So the next thing that we will go ahead and talk about today is going to be custom rewards. So custom rewards are another great way to increase participation. Custom rewards are what your users can cash out their points for. So these are both created and fulfilled by your company and can be a really fun way to incorporate your culture into your rewards catalog. So some examples of these include, company swag, additional vacation hours, one-on-one meetings with executives and leadership. I've seen some that are lunch with the CEO, So you can really get as creative as you want here. We do recommend reaching out to your employees to really get a better understanding of the types of rewards that they are most interested in, because giving employees a say in reward options can really help increase their personal investment in the program and, of course, make recognition even more fun.
Yeah, one thing that comes to mind when I think of custom rewards, I love these ideas. But another thing that I see a lot of people doing to increase engagement and boost participation is actually using these to add in donations and charity options that are specific and local to your area, to your team, to your company. The Bonusly catalog offers donation options, but those tend to be a little bit broader, reaching across countries and across the US. Say, for instance, you have a particular animal shelter that's really important to a lot of people at your company. You can actually build that into your Bonusly catalog because you know it's meaningful to your team, and then they can save up and then redeem, and you ultimately can donate to those organizations.
Thanks, Adrienne. The next thing that we will go ahead and discuss is manual awards. So manual awards are company to employee recognition for important initiatives. These have fixed or customizable bonus reasons and amounts, shared budgets, and budget periods so that companies can increase recognition for initiatives and company events with ease. These type of awards help increase participation because they are valuable and meaningful for employees to be recognized in ways outside of peer-to-peer recognition. So some examples of manual awards could be for things like employee referrals, wellness programs, training incentives, and customer feedback.
I'm just going to keep chiming in because this is all triggering some really great ideas. I think one thing that's important when you're thinking about the different programs within your Bonusly account is to think about it from like a 360-degree approach versus just one or the other. So awards here are a great way to really utilize top-down recognition, whether that's coming from the company, maybe it's managers. It allows you to have separate budgets and assign different people to be able to give out specific recognition. Some really fun ones I've seen are things like recognition for Employee Appreciation Day, maybe specific holidays. As we talked about just a little bit earlier, tying that into your company values. But it's a really great way to start to build on that 360-degree engagement and kind of improve, culture overall at your organization.
I couldn't agree more. Thanks for that call out, Adrienne. Awesome. So next up, we have claimable awards. So another great way to encourage participation is through claimable awards. And these awards encourage users to proactively claim awards, really advocating for themselves when they've done something great. It can really help eliminate that feeling that certain work goes unnoticed. Kind of similarly to the manual awards, claimable awards have fixed bonuses, reasons, and amounts. And a little bit of a difference here is all claimable awards will default to automatically approve the award, but with a quick toggle, you can easily set any user to approve the award. This is a great way to help increase recognition for initiatives while reducing a lot of that admin work. These are pretty simple in their setup, and they are a set it and forget it. So some ideas for claimable awards include completing company trainings like manager trainings or security trainings, having great attendance, posting or reposting something about the company on LinkedIn. So really any sort of social media initiatives. These can be great because it has a great way for employees to feel very connected to the work that they're doing if they're posting about the company on social media. And then I would also say referring new customers too. That's another great claimable award that you can implement here.
Yeah, I think another one too that I see often are like wellness ones, whether it's walking a certain number of steps or really the sky is the limit. But the thing that I want to just echo is saving admins time. Could you imagine if you're allowing people to do wellness awards and every time they, beat 10,000 steps, you have to then send them recognition? That would just be way too much work. So this puts it in the hands of your teammates, still allows you to have those initiatives, but again, reduces the workload for admins by so much.
Yep, great call out. Again, those claimable awards, they're really a set it and forget it and made so that the admins really don't have to do as much work. The next thing that we'll talk about is chat integration. So utilizing a chat integration is really an easy way to streamline recognition so that it's part of the user's daily workflow. They don't have to navigate elsewhere to give or really receive that recognition. And this allows users to give those bonuses directly through some of the different chat integrations that we have, such as Slack, Microsoft Teams, and Google Chat. It allows you to consolidate recognition into an easy to digest view, really increase visibility into the great work that your teams are doing. Bonusly customers with an active chat integration see an increase of engagement and participation rate of 5 to 10% higher than those without a chat integration. And it's pretty simple, easy setup. And then from there, it's pretty much, set it and forget it. And it really helps users work out of the comfort of their daily workflow without having to navigate elsewhere. Awesome. So the next thing we'll discuss is add-ons and tagging. So we recommend promoting the use of add-ons as well as the tagging feature when giving recognition to help increase participation. So add-ons allow you to add additional points to a recognition post. They can ultimately create a waterfall effect for recognition, allowing others to join in on the fun. They can really amplify the feelings of connection an employee has to their work, their team, and the company as a whole. Here at Bonusly, we see our users really utilize add-ons for things like celebrations through, the birthday award and work anniversaries, and so much more. We also have add-on rate analytics to help you gauge how often users are echoing the sentiment and recognition given in Bonusly. And then on the right here, as you can see, the tagging feature, this allows for additional users to be tagged in a recognition post, which helps surface recognition to the wider team. Promoting the use of the tagging feature when giving recognition to encourage users to tag relevant members of their team and managers for added visibility on successes and learnings that really make an impact. All right, so now I will go ahead and turn it over to Adrienne for some last best practices.
Great, thank you. I absolutely love talking about this particular slide because I've just seen so many creative ideas over the time that I've been here at Bonusly, and I can't wait to continue to just see more filtering in from our customers. But the first one we have here is pretty straightforward, but it's incorporating Bonusly into your onboarding and training. And that allows you to really, from the first day that someone gets to your organization, set the tone of this is what our culture is like here. This is how we recognize one another and share feedback. It can also help from the training standpoint of, what are the expectations when we're giving recognition? In order to see effective recognition, we really recommend timely, frequent, specific, and values-based recognition. And again, this is a great opportunity to set that tone, set those expectations as someone comes into your organization. And then I will say, when you have your celebrations turn on, AKA automated awards, I still remember my first day at Bonusly coming in, receiving that automatic award, and just watching everyone adding on to it, saying, hi, welcome, we're so glad that you're here. It made my first day just feel so great. I felt like I belonged. I really felt like I was coming into a team, and it helped me identify with the company culture. So the next bullet point that we have here is training managers to recognize direct reports, not only during onboarding, but regularly, throughout everyday workflows. And this is really important because Bonusly has been doing some research, and through other researches that we are working with, we've seen that engagement it's at an all-time low, and that managers actually are one of the most impactful thing on our team members at organizations, whether that's retention, keeping them around, performance, being engaged with the team. Managers are just so key. So by having training up your managers, getting them set up for success, sharing expectations with them, as well as teaching them what effective recognition looks like and implementing it, that's really going to help boost your participation across the board, because they are in there with the team on the ground floor as things are going on every day, and can really help elevate the culture at your company. The third bullet point is, ooh, I love this one. Just reminding everyone, in case you weren't aware, that we do have a reward in our catalog called a points boost, which is just a really cool way you can redeem for extra points to be able to give out to team members. I actually use this feature all the time because I'm very bad at budgeting, and I get really excited and I end up giving out, too many points too often right at the beginning of the month. And then I'm like, I'm out of points. Well, instead of not being able to continue to recognize people, I just cash in for some extra points. And then that way I am able to continue just sharing out recognition on a regular basis throughout the entire month. The next bullet point is relaunching Bonusly, focused on features that you've added or programming that you've added, and then incorporating the why behind it. So if you're watching this, you might not necessarily be new to Bonusly. You might have had Bonusly for some time, but that doesn't mean you don't have opportunities to relaunch and refresh. So say, for instance, you don't really have a robust awards program, or you haven't really been incorporating your company values. I encourage you to set that up and then have a relaunch with your company. Talk about, here's why we're doing this. Here's why it's meaningful and important. Here's the impact on the business. Here are some expectations. It kind of brings everyone back together and helps them to re-identify like the intention behind this. It's not just a nice to have, it's actually something that's helping us work together, build our culture, and meet our goals all as one team. And then the last one, pretty straightforward, is just modeling what effective recognition looks like. And that's across the board, not just managers. That's leadership. That's every individual contributor. By setting that standard and using some of the best practices that Tracy mentioned, whether it's tagging someone, adding on, people start to catch on, and it becomes a habit. It becomes a part of everyday work at your organization. And that's what you want. That's where you're going to see the biggest impact, not only on participation, but also on your company culture.
Awesome. Thanks so much for the time.